What is dead hand that's going viral on internet these days? Dead hand is the nickname for one of the most chilling and fascinating concepts of the Cold War, a real-life system that bordered on being a doomsday machine. Its official name was Systema Perimetr, the Perimeter system, and it was a fail-deadly, last-resort nuclear command and control system developed by the Soviet Union. In simple terms, Dead Hand was designed to automatically launch the entire Soviet arsenal of land-based nuclear missiles if it detected that the Soviet leadership had been wiped out in a surprise decapitation strike. Here is a detailed breakdown of how it worked and why it was created. The why. The ultimate Cold War fear. During the Cold War, the central theory of nuclear deterrence was mutually assured destruction, or MAD. The logic was that neither the US nor the USSR would launch a first strike because they knew the other side would survive and launch a devastating retaliatory strike. However, Soviet military strategists were haunted by a specific nightmare scenario: the decapitation strike. What if the United States launched a highly precise, surprise nuclear attack that instantly killed the entire Soviet leadership in Moscow, the General Secretary, the Minister of Defense, and the top command of the General Staff? The problem? With no one left to give the order, the Soviet Union's vast nuclear arsenal would sit uselessly in its silos. The retaliatory strike, the very thing that made MAD work, would never happen. This would make a first strike thinkable and therefore more likely. Dead Hand was the solution to this problem. It was an insurance policy to guarantee that even if the entire chain of command was gone, the Soviet Union would still get its revenge. The how. A 4-step automated apocalypse. The system was not a simple switch that was always on. It was a complex, semi-automated system. Pre-authorization. During a period of extreme crisis, the top leadership would activate the Dead Hand system. This essentially unlocked it and put it on standby. It would not do anything on its own yet. Loss of contact. The system would then begin to monitor a network of secure communication lines linked to the General Staff headquarters. If these communication lines went silent for a prolonged period, the system would assume the leadership was gone. Nuclear confirmation. This is the ingenious and terrifying part. The system wouldn't launch just because communication was lost. It could be a technical failure. To prevent an accidental launch, it would first check for signs of a nuclear apocalypse. A network of sensors across the country would look for 4 confirmations: seismic activity consistent with nuclear explosions, light flashes characteristic of nuclear detonations, high levels of radiation, and sudden changes in atmospheric pressure. The final command. If the system was active, communication was lost, and it confirmed nuclear strikes on Soviet soil, Dead Hand would initiate its final sequence. It would automatically launch special command rockets. These were not regular ICBMs with warheads. Instead, they were rockets equipped with powerful radio transmitters that would fly across the entire Soviet Union, broadcasting launch commands and codes directly to every ICBM in every silo. Upon receiving this broadcast, the missiles would launch automatically. Was it a doomsday machine? Not exactly, which makes it even more interesting. A true doomsday machine, like the one in the film Dr. Strangelove, is fully automatic and its existence is made public to deter an attack. Dead Hand had 2 key differences. It was semi-automatic, it required human authorization to be switched on, and it was a secret. Its existence was not officially confirmed until after the fall of the Soviet Union. The Soviets didn't want the US to know about it, perhaps fearing it would encourage the development of countermeasures. Is it still active? This is the most alarming question. While its exact status is a state secret, most Western analysts and even some Russian officials have indicated that a modernized version of the system remains active in Russia today. The logic is that in an age of hypersonic missiles and advanced stealth technology, the threat of a sudden decapitation strike is even greater than it was during the Cold War. In recent years, Russian President Vladimir Putin has made public statements that are widely interpreted as alluding to the dead hand system's continued existence, with famous lines like, "Aggressors must know that retribution is inevitable," and his chilling remark that in a nuclear war, Russians would go to heaven as martyrs while the attackers would just croak. In summary, dead hand is the ultimate, terrifyingly logical conclusion of nuclear deterrence theory, a system created to ensure that no matter what, nobody wins a nuclear war.